Hello, welcome back if you're returning. If you're new, I'm Steph, and today we'll be moving through a 30-minute feel-good full body flow. We'll get started down on our backs. When you're ready, making your way down onto your mat. Once you come down onto your back, we'll have the knees bent here, and let's bring the hands to rest on our belly. We'll begin by taking 2 rounds of cleansing breath, finishing off your exhale where you are. Take a deep, long breath in through your nose and then sigh it out of the mouth. One more like that, deep breath in through the nose. Let it all go out of the mouth. Bringing your focus now to your natural rhythm of breath. Take the arms out to the side. You can have the arms straight, or if you are restricted with space, you might bend the elbows. Heel toe your feet to the edges of the mat and let the knees sway side to side a few times. Starting to warm up the hips, inviting a little bit of internal and external rotation into our hips here. Take one more each side, windshield wipering the legs side to side. And then bringing the feet roughly hip width apart. Bring the right leg in towards the chest and catch the back of the right leg here, interlacing the hands behind the back of the leg. From here, slowly start to straighten that leg as best you can. Foot goes up towards the ceiling. I like to interlace my hand behind the leg, creates this little net that the leg can relax and rest into. We'll begin by finding some movement in the ankle here, taking small circles, maybe drawing circles on the ceiling with your big toe. And taking those circles in the opposite direction. You might like to point and flex the foot here now. And then flex the toes back towards the face. If this is already giving you a big stretch down the back of that right leg, then stay there. If you do need to slide the hands up closer towards the foot, maybe they come to the calf, maybe they catch the ankle. If you practice regularly, you might be able to catch your big toe. Just finding that place where the hands need to be so that you get the stretch into the back of the leg. Keep drawing the toes back towards your face. Keep the foot flexed. Almost as if you're trying to stand your foot on the ceiling. Sole of the foot facing up towards the ceiling. Let's enjoy another 2 rounds of breath here. Keep flexing through the foot. Sometimes that's the easiest thing to forget about here. And then wherever you have the hands on the legs, mindfully release. We'll cross that right ankle on top of the left thigh, coming into a figure 4 stretch or supine pigeon. Right hand to the inside of that right leg, or left leg comes in towards the chest, right arm goes through that little window and catching a hold of the left leg now. Let's enjoy 3 rounds of breath here. Maybe visualize sending the breath into that outer right hip. Starting to create space and openness in the hips. And we'll slowly work our way into other parts of the body. Take one more breath in as you are. And stay for the breath out. Release the left leg if you have it. Extend the legs out long in front of you, reach the arms overhead, find a full body stretch here between sides. And then let's meet back with the knees bent. Right foot stays on the mat. It's our left leg that comes in towards the chest, interlacing the hands behind the back of the leg. Just take your foot slowly up towards the ceiling. And then finding some movement in that left ankle here, drawing those circles with your big toe on the ceiling. Just making sure you take your circles in the opposite direction. And then pointing and flexing the foot. We'll flex the foot, draw the toes back towards the face. If you are getting the stretch here, you stay here. If you need a little bit more, start to slide the hands up the back of the legs. If you know that you can catch the big toe, doesn't mean you need to go right into that. We will revisit this pose again towards the end of our practice when the body and our muscles are a little bit warmer. Just go easy this first round. Let's enjoy an inhale breath together. And we'll stay for that exhale. Good. Keep that left foot flexed. Cross the left ankle on top of your right thigh. Left hand to the inside of the leg or left hand through that little window as you bring the right leg in towards the chest. Supine pigeon or figure four. 3 rounds of breath here. Breathing into that outer left hip now. It's nice to isolate movement sometimes into the left and the right sides of the body as they can be quite different. Observing these differences so that you can make any adjustments as you need to for each side of the body. That's it. Releasing that right leg if you have it. Extend the legs out long, reach the arms overhead, toes reach forward. And then bring the knees in towards the chest, catching the backs of the thighs. You can either take a few rock and rolls forward and back, up and down the spine here. If you prefer to roll to one side, you can roll to one side. We'll come to meet in a comfortable seated position when you're ready. Facing the front of your mat. I'll turn to face the camera. Grounding the sit bones down, lengthening the spine. We'll interlace our hands behind the back of our head. When you're ready, take a deep breath in. Reach the elbows out wide, broaden across the chest. As you exhale, we'll start to draw the elbows together around the spine and bring the chin in towards the chest. I'll show you what this looks like from the side. Inhale, we're opening those elbows out wide. Expand across the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, hug the elbows in towards one another, wrapping your forearms into your temples. Inhale, open. Moving with the breath here now. Exhale, elbows together, chin to chest. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. Last round. Inhale, opening. Exhale to round. Mindfully releasing the hands from the back of the head, and let's make our way into our tabletop position. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists here, stacking the hips over the knees. Start to take some circles around the wrists, moving the torso over the wrists, and starting to feel that weight distribution transfer around the hands. That's it. I've started in a clockwise direction. Just notice which direction you've started in. because we'll change directions now. Really find some grip into the pads of your fingertips. Weight into the fingertips. That's it. Meet back in that neutral tabletop position when you're ready. And then we'll find our downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift the knees away from the mat, and take your hips up and back behind you. Adjust your downward facing dog as you need to. Maybe step the feet back slightly. Soft bend into the knees. Let both heels reach down towards your mat. On an inhale breath, coming right up onto the tippy toes, lift the heels away from the floor. As you exhale, let the heels slowly come back down to your mat. Inhale to lift the heels. Exhale to lower the heels back down. Similar movement when we were on our backs and pointing and flexing the toes to the sky. This time we're weight bearing. Inhale, come up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, lower the heels down. One more round. Inhale, come up onto the tippy toes. And exhale, lower the heels back down. Take a full round of breath here in your downward facing dog. See if you can find that grip in the pads of the fingers. And then slowly start to take your gaze towards the top of the mat. Step, walk, or maybe hop to the front of your mat. When you arrive, take the feet hip width or maybe a little bit wider. We'll interlace the hands behind the head again, just like when we did it when we were seated. Let the forearms wrap in towards the temples. Elbows don't need to touch, but they're wrapping in towards the head. Hands are resting on the back of the head. Fold in towards your legs. Let your head hang heavy. If it feels nice to take a little gentle sway side to side here, you can find that. And starting to breathe now into the backs of the legs, into that back line of the body. Releasing the hands down to the mat when you're ready. Press through the feet, take a deep breath and sweep the arms wide, come all the way up to standing. Palms come together in front of your heart space with a breath out. Finding our mountain pose, hands down beside the hips. Good. Facing the front of the room. Find that even weight in the feet. On a breath in, reach the arms up to the sky at the top. We're catching our left wrist with our right fingers, index finger and thumb catching the left wrist. Little soft bend in the knees. Take your weight into your right foot. Sweep your left foot behind the right and over to the right side of your mat. Reach the arms up and over to the right. Now this beautiful side bend into that left side of the body. Take 2 rounds of breath here, your rhythm of breath. Keep reaching through that left hand up and over to the right. Take 1 more breath in. That's it. Stay for the breath out. Come back through center. Release the wrist. Step the left foot back to the top of the mat. Exhale, take your arms wide. Soft bend in the knees. Fold forward over your legs. Plant the hands at the top of your mat. Step your left foot to the back of your mat and lower down to your left knee. Inhale, low lunge, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale to stay and find your low lunge. Good. Hands are going to interlace behind the head. We take that same movement we found seated. Inhale, elbows go wide, broaden across the chest and squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you exhale, start to draw the elbows towards one another. I'm slightly taking my hips back as I start to take my gaze down towards that left knee. Inhale to separate the elbows, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, elbows draw closer towards one another as your chin comes in towards your chest. One more. Inhale to open. Exhale, elbows together, gaze down towards that left knee. Come back into your low lunge, release the hands to the sky. Take a breath in here. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat, either side of that right foot. Tuck your left toes and lift your left knee away from your mat. Setting up for our warrior two. Left foot plants at the back of the mat, parallel to that back edge. Heels in line. And then cartwheel the arms to come up. Left hand goes back, right hand sweeps forward, stack the shoulders over the hips. Arms are parallel to the mat and there's an even reach forward and back in the arms. Here for a full breath in. Stay for the full breath out. Inhale, we reverse our warrior two. Right hand reaches up and back. Exhale, take your hands down to the front of your mat. Come up onto the ball of that left foot. Step your left foot forward to meet the right, meeting it in a forward fold at the top of our mats. From here, pressing into the feet, take a big breath in, sweep the arms wide, come all the way to stand. Palms come together through center, exhale, breath. Hands beside the hips, find your mountain pose once again. Finding that even weight in the feet. We'll take those same poses on the second side, arms to the sky with a breath in. Catching your right wrist at the top, and then soft bend into the knees, weight into the left foot, sweep your right foot behind the left, over to the left, arms reach over to the left. Breathing into that right side body. Big breath in, reach up and over with that right hand. Stay with the breath out. Good, one more breath in. One more breath out. Come back through center, release the wrist, step the right foot to the top of the mat. Hands go wide, soft bend in the knees, exhale, fold forward over the legs. Planting the hands, step your right foot to the back of the mat, lower to your right knee, low lunge, inhale to reach the arms up, exhale to stay. Hands interlace behind the head. We take that movement with the breath. Inhale to open the elbows wide, broaden across the chest. Exhale, maybe shuffle the hips back slightly as you bring the elbows together. Gaze down towards that right knee. Inhale, opening the chest, opening the elbows. Exhale, gaze down towards your right knee as the elbows come towards one another. Inhale, open and expand. Exhale, round and curl in. Good. From here, we release the hands up to the sky, come back into that low lunge. Take an inhale breath together here. And then exhale, hands find the mat either side of that left foot. Tuck your right toes under, lift the right knee away from the floor. Plant your right foot at the back of the mat so that it's parallel to the back edge. Take some weight into that left foot. Inhale, cartwheel the arms open, right hand goes back, left hand comes forward. Even reach through the arms. See if you can get your shoulders to stack over the hips here. Keep bending into that left knee. Here for that full round of breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. We reverse our warrior two with an inhale breath. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat. Step forward into that forward fold. We come onto the ball of the right foot, and then you can press off the right foot to step it all the way to the top of the mat. We'll interlace the hands behind the head here. Let the forearms wrap in towards the temples. Let your head hang heavy. You might like to close the eyes. Maybe find that sway side to side again. Releasing the fingertips down to the mat. Planting the hands. Stepping back into your downward facing dog. Stepping the feet back to the back of your mat to find your downward facing dog.
Let's take a full round of breath in downward dog here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Mindfully let the knees come down to the mat. Take your hips to one side, take your knees to the other. We'll come to meet on the middle of our mats. Knees are bent, feet are about hip width apart. Hands are going to come behind the hips, fingers face forward. Setting ourselves up for a reverse tabletop position here. Press into the hands, press into the feet. Keep the chin tucked into the chest to begin with, and when you're ready, start to lift your hips up to the sky. Stay here, chin tucked in towards the chest, or if it feels okay in the neck, let your chin fall towards the back of the room. Press into the hands and then press into the feet to lift the hips even higher. Good. Staying here, staying with your breath for 3, 2. Be with me here for the 1. And then mindfully letting the hips come down towards your mat. Take ourselves into a little ball. Give yourself a hug. Wrap the arms around the legs and let the chin drop in towards the chest. Two more rounds of breath here. When you're ready, unraveling, we'll make our way back down to our mats, lowering the back, body all the way down. Feet on the mat, knees are bent. Find that windshield wiper of the legs side to side. You may notice the hips feel a little bit more spacious and open here. Arms out to the side. Just check back in with your breath. Sometimes as we move through poses, even though the cueing for the breath is there, we can lose that quality of our breath. Coming back to those long, deep breaths. And then bring the right knee into the chest, interlacing the hands behind the back of the leg. Extend the leg straight, foot up towards the ceiling, and draw the toes back towards the face, coming back into that hamstring stretch. Stay here or slide the hands up the back of the legs. Might be able to get the hands higher up the back of the leg this round. We want to keep that low back, the back of the hips connected to the mat. And keep the backs of the shoulders connected to the mat as well. The more you flex through the right foot, the more you draw the toes back towards the face, the more you're going to increase that lengthening down the back of the leg. Enjoy one more full breath in and a full breath out. Keep the flex in the right foot. Place the right ankle on top of the left thigh for our figure 4. Right hand to the inside of the right thigh, or left leg comes in towards the body. And we breathe into that outer right hip. Again, we want the entire back body connected and supported by the mat here. Enjoying 2 more rounds of breath. Releasing the left leg. Releasing the right ankle.
Let the knees rock side to side, windshield wiper the legs. Left knee comes in towards the body when you're ready. Interlace the hands behind the back of the leg. Take the left foot up to the sky as you start to straighten through the leg. Draw the toes back towards the face to flex the foot. And then slowly see if you can start to slide the hands up the back of the leg. Knee might be bent here. The goal isn't to get our hands as high up the legs as we can. The goal is to find where we start to feel that stretch. And this can differ day to day, so they are a little lower on the leg than they usually are. That's okay. Let's enjoy 2 more rounds of breath here. Keep the flex in the left foot, releasing the hands so that the left ankle can cross on top of the right thigh for our figure 4, your variation. Breathing into the outer left hip, keeping that back body connected to your mat. Mindfully releasing the right leg when you're ready. Feet on the mat, knees bent. We'll take that windshield wiper of the legs one final time. And then slowly extending the legs out long in front of you to find your Shavasana. Letting the heels rest at the front of your mat, letting the toes naturally open out to either side. Letting your hands rest on the floor beside the hips. Find a softening in the jaw and clenching the teeth. Maybe peel your tongue away from the roof of the mouth. And allow the space between your eyebrows to relax and soften. Give yourself permission to surrender into complete stillness here. I'll let you know when it's time for us to come out. We'll slowly begin to invite deeper breath back into the body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe take little circles with the wrists and the ankles. And then if you have the space, take the arms overhead to find that full body stretch. And then we'll slowly make our way onto our right hand sides. From here, slowly coming up to find a comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed, or have your eye gaze soft off the tip of your nose. Gently pressing the palms together in front of your heart. Take a moment here to just let a smile spread across your face in gratitude to yourself for making this time in your day for you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.